President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi received visiting Congo's President Felix Tshisekedi in Cairo on Tuesday. During their meeting, the two leaders reviewed a number of regional and African issues of mutual concern, in addition to means of fostering bilateral ties in various domains. The two leaders also reviewed developments in Ethiopia's dam negotiations. At a joint press conference after the talks, President Sisi said the two sides had agreed to intensify cooperation and offer Egypt's technical support to Congo, in addition to enhancing cooperation in the water resources field. President Sisi expressed his appreciation to historic ties that bind the two nations, stressing the significance of expanding cooperation with the aim of realizing mutual interests, as well as those of the African continent. The president expressed his pleasure on welcoming the Congolese president and the accompanying delegation in his first visit to Egypt, adding that Egypt seeks to boost the volume of trade with Congo. The head of state expressed full support during its presidency of the African Union. For his part, President Tshisekedi said he was looking forward to enhancing cooperation between the two countries in a way that boosts interests of both countries. Meanwhile, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi received a phone call from his South African counterpart on Tuesday that tackled a number of African issues of mutual concern. Presidential spokesman Ambassador Bassem Rodi said the two leaders reviewed ongoing preparations of upcoming annual African Union Summit, which will be held via video conference. During their telephone conversation, President Sisi congratulated the South African leader for his successful African Union presidency during the year 2020, which coincided with a number of regional and international challenges, including COVID-19, that had negative repercussions at the political, economic and social levels. For his part, the South African president expressed his appreciation to Egypt for its support of his country in all aspects of continental work during his AU presidency. He said such support reflects Egypt's keenness under the leadership of President Sisi to prioritize mutual African states' interests, in addition to seeking settlements for crises and issues facing the continent. On Ethiopian dams negotiations, the South African leader hailed Egypt's positive efforts during current trilateral negotiations with Sudan and Ethiopia under the leadership of the African Union. He expressed hope that the coming stage would witness progress regarding this crucial and vital file, as the Democratic Republic of Congo is due to take over the AU presidency, hoping the two sides reach a legal binding framework that preserves Egypt's water rights. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli called on contracting companies taking part in the development of Egyptian villages within the presidential initiative dubbed Honorable Life to prepare all equipments needed to implement sewage projects across targeted villages. Speaking during a follow-up on the implementation of sewage projects in 51 centers within the initiative, Madbouli ordered the employment of an official for each of the 51 centers to be in charge of overseeing the implementation of the project. The Prime Minister said the person in charge would be aided by a highly efficient work team. Madbouli directed to present a daily report on implemented work within the project. Furthermore, Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli presided over a cabinet meeting via video conference on Tuesday. During the meeting, Madbouli said the men's handball championship, which held under the auspices of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, affirmed Egypt's huge capability to organize such an international event. The Prime Minister also reviewed a report on Egypt's economy prepared by the International Monetary Fund and Moody's rating agency over measures being adopted by the government to combat the repercussions of the novel coronavirus crisis. The meeting also tackled the government's draft legislation plan, which included situation of the draft laws that had been submitted to the House of Representatives at the beginning of its new legislative term. Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry stressed the importance of reaching a binding legal deal over filling and operating of Ethiopia's dam to achieve the joint interests of all concerned parties. Shoukry was speaking during talks with Brazil's foreign minister through a video conference. The talks tackled a number of regional and international issues of mutual concern, in addition to means of boosting bilateral ties. Officials said both sides stressed the strength of ties between the two countries, expressing willingness to expand deliberations over issues of mutual concern. Parliament Speaker Councillor Hanafi El-Gibali stressed that the appointment of Dr. Ghada Wali as the Executive Director of the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime reflects Egypt's high position and pivotal role in the world. El-Gibali remarks came during his meeting with Dr. Ghada Wali, where they discussed means of cooperation in the field of combating terrorism and organized crime, as well as corruption. On another front, Minister of Religious Endowment Mohammed Mukhtar Goma asserted that the ministry's strategy over the past phase focused on issues of renewing the religious discourse and confronting extremist beliefs. Addressing the Parliament's public session, Goma stressed his ministry has said that the ministry replied to such terrorist propaganda with publications that establish the principle of peaceful coexistence, spread peace and enlightened thought. German Foreign Minister Heiko Maas said